Hey everyone!
Hey!
We are back. Welcome back.
It has been a long time.
Welcome back to Seen and Heard.
Yeah.
We're so happy to be back. My name's Jackie.
I'm Greg.
And this is the podcast where we talk about the Sight and Sound Top 100 Greatest Films of All Time list. For those of you who don't know, Sight and Sound is a British magazine that is owned by the British Film Institute, and they release a poll every 10 years, as voted by critics, the 100 greatest films of all time. Before our break, we were about halfway through the 2012 Sight and Sound list. Since coming back just last week, the 2022 edition of the list was released. And Greg...
Jackie, this is the most controversial yet, I would say. I'd say all the previous lists have kind of played it safe, and this one's causing some noise.
It's going to be exciting to talk about.
Yeah.
So this episode, we are not doing a movie. We are just talking about the new list, and we are joined by a very special guest. Her name is Becca. She runs the This Cinematic Life blog about raising a cinephile child. Becca, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We're so excited. Tell the people a little bit about This Cinematic Life.
This Cinematic Life is a blog that I started with my husband, Craig, not Greg. Not confusing it. Craig. Gosh, I don't know, years and years ago. And then it sort of turned into where I documented my own take on the Sight and Sound Challenge when I attempted it. So yeah, it was just a for fun thing that we could do together. We're both big movie nerds, so it hasn't been updated in a little while because, life. But yeah, I always intend to get back to it, but it's just a fun little project.
So the way I even found you, Becca, is when we started Seen and Heard, I was just looking through Letterboxd. I think it was even the first movie that we did, which was it was like the second movie. I think it was like Madame de or Imitation of Life. It was like one of those really early ones. And I was looking for Letterboxd reviews, and I found your review because you had said on top of your review, it said as part of the Sight and Sound Challenge. So that's how I even found you, because I thought oh my God, another blog that's doing this. So tell us about how far down the list did you get?
So I foolishly decided to try the 250 instead of the 100.
Oh my God.
Because I'm a crazy person. So the reason I started the challenge in the first place, so I have a daughter who was adopted from foster care, which, as any foster parent will tell you, involves a lot of waiting. So we were trying to get through the process, and we were waiting. I was I needed something to distract myself from the wait. And I think I saw that Concert Hall near us was going to be doing Vertigo in concert. So I'd be that'd be the perfect way to kick off this crazy movie challenge. And I was do I do AFI top 100? Do I do which one? And I was I'm going to do the crazy one because it's 250. I'm going to blog about it. I'm going to do it, Julie and Julia style. I'm going to watch them all, take on something way bigger.
Did you do one a day in Julia?
No, I was trying to be reasonable. I was trying to do at least one a week because I'm it'll be forever. I have all the time in the world, I'm going to, write about everyone. So yeah, so it was something to do, but then it kind of bled into oh, now I'm a mom. Oh, now I have a toddler. This is really hard to do. So I didn't finish, but of the top 250, I think I only haven't seen 16 of them.
Oh, wow.
Well, so
I put a big ol' dent in it. I doubt I'll finish.
That's really impressive.
Now there's a new list, so maybe I'll start over again.
What, did you start from the top or the bottom when you did it?
I started with number 1, but then I just went as I could find them. A lot of them were really hard to find. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wanda in particular was too bad you can't find it. It wasn't until
it's just recent. The restoration.
Yeah, and the Frida and Santa Ana, our friend's theater in Santa Ana, they were showing it. So I was yeah, so I can finally see this one at least. And that was one of the last ones I saw.
Amazing.
That I was able to.
So of the 250, you've only not seen 16, and it's just been random. So you've seen a lot. Would you say that you've probably seen the top 100?
I mean, most of them. I think when you approached me and I was I wonder how many of those I didn't see. There was 5 maybe that I hadn't
Okay.
seen. So I'd seen most of them.
Well, that's amazing. You're
Yeah.
ahead of us.
Yeah, honestly.
For those of you who don't know, our podcast, Seen and Heard, the way we go, if you're just joining us, like this, if this is the first episode you're ever listening to, we don't go like from the top to the bottom of the list. We ping pong. So we start
Famously.
we started at the top,
I
and
guess
then our
ping
next
pong.
week's episode was at the bottom of the list, and we go back and forth.
And we found some really interesting pairings that way too.
The
of, like,
patterns were very weird.
you'll get 2 movies back to back that are like on different sides of the list, but they'll be like, oh,
Bergman. Both of the Bergmans landed like that.
yeah, and other stuff too that's just like thematically similar. And you're like, these
Yeah.
movies would make great companion pieces, but they were on, one was at the bottom, one was at the top.
It was really weird.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
just to establish too, going forward, we're going to continue on the 2012 list. So that's what we're doing for now.
Yes.
Obviously, there's a lot of overlap with the new lists, but we're going to continue going on the 2012 list until we finish it. And then we will tackle the new stuff from the 2022 list. That just seemed the best way to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Probably the easiest to cover the most ground.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. And I bet a lot of the movies we'll cover in the 2012, like that's most of the 2022 list
It is.
anyway.
It
So,
really is.
Yeah.
So why don't we just go around and all say our like initial feelings and thoughts about this new 2022 list?
Well, we should say too, as we're recording, the new list just came out yesterday.
Yes.
So it's been a
It's
whirlwind
very
24
fresh.
hours.
Yeah.
We're still processing.
We are.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a long time to process something like that. I had people texting me all yesterday.
I had people
like,
texting me too.
What are your thoughts? Like crazy.
One of my friends, Jules, she texted me. She's like, "Do you think they released a new list because of your podcast?" She's joking.
Obviously, yes.
Clearly,
it
they're
was
listening to
funny.
Well, yeah, I think overall,
Go for it, Greg.
it's a doozy. I think it's a doozy. I'll just say that Jean Dielman at number 1, I'm fully behind. And
Cool.
I love that choice. Like,
Me too.
it's out of left field. It's such a divisive film, even among cinephiles. Like, some people love it and some people hate it. And I respect the people that hate it too. It's not like it's the kind of movie where it's like, wait, you don't like this? Then
Exactly.
You're wrong. It remains a very experimental movie in terms of just endurance. And no, but it's I'm fully on board with that as number 1. Obviously, I love Vertigo, which is the one that got bumped, but I think that Jean Dielman is a richer film than Vertigo, I think. So I'm all down with that. I do think, and we'll get into this in a little bit, I do think that there are some crazy omissions in terms, or like some movies got bumped off that
Yeah.
absolutely should not have gotten bumped off, and then
can't
some movies replace those that I don't agree with at all. So overall, I'll say, I know there's a lot of people that are like dismissing this new list and saying like, I'm done with Sight and Sound. Like they lost all credibility. There are those people. I've seen it.
I haven't noticed.
But overall, I think it's a good list. It's a good list.
Yeah, I think so too. Becca, do you want to go?
As far as the number 1, you can see on my list, I literally wrote potato peeling movie. I couldn't be bothered. I'm not okay.
Wait, do you don't like them? Jean
I've
Dielman?
seen it.
Yeah.
I would not call it the greatest movie of all time by a long shot. Okay. I had some time to think about it.
Okay.
Because he texted me. I was at work. And he said, Jean Dielman, number 1. And I'm like, I may have cursed. I don't want to on the air in case my mom was listening. But you're kidding me. Like, I thought he was trolling me because we've talked about that movie. So I was like, I don't want to go on it and trash it. Like,
Be honest.
Jackie and Greg are gonna come for me in my cinephile card.
No,
Like,
no.
Excuse me. No. I appreciate that the list has been shaken up. I love that it is a female directed film.
Mhm.
I don't want to watch it ever again. It is like watching paint dry. And like, I understand its importance in film history, and it looks beautiful. Like, it's so visually appealing, like
It
the
is.
colors and the way everything is framed. But come on.
You know what? I
Anyway.
think it's a fact. Here's the thing. I love it, but I think that it is a fact that this is like it's not like Vertigo, which is, or like, I'm trying
Or
to think of a
Kane.
better.
Well, it's funny
which
because
is like an objectively like really good movie that most people will enjoy.
Mhm.
It's not that at all. And I don't think there's anything wrong with you not liking it.
I think the first time I watched it, it was like, it's almost not like I wasn't watching it like I would sit down and watch any movie. It was like a meditative exercise.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, that had interesting things to say, but I don't need to watch that ever again.
Yeah.
And it was just like, so I remember telling people about it because I did a lot of this at work. I used to work. I shouldn't be saying this. I used to work in a preschool with really long nap times that I had to just sit in there for and like do work. So I would watch, have one headphone in and be making my way through the sight and sound. Not an ideal way to watch some of these, but some, I find pockets of time where I can. And I was like, she's still peeling potatoes. I'm like, okay. But I think that one I had to watch in chunks because it was so long. But
it's very long.
What are you watching? So she's cooking dinner again. That's a real movie. It is, I promise. So when I tell non-cinephile people
It's
about
really,
it, they're like, is it real? I'm like,
That's the movie. That's the people like my non-cinephile friends, like our mutual friend James.
Movie,
it's the joke movie because he jokes every time. He's like, sorry, it's not some 4-hour movie about a woman washing dishes. It's like, that's the movie.
Yeah.
That's the card that gets pulled.
It's so funny. My mom walked in on me watching it and she just stood in the doorway and she was staring at the screen for maybe like 2 minutes. Cause I think she was just waiting. Like, when you pass by someone watching a movie and you wait for something to happen, you wait for a scene, something like she was waiting. And she's watching and watching. And then finally she's like, what is this? And I had to tell her. And then even when it was done, I told her how it ends. Because I said, like, she stopped peeling potatoes at a point, and this is what happened. So yesterday, I ran up to my mom. I'm like, Mom, guess what the number 1 movie is? And she couldn't believe it either.
My mom, she was like, wait. I was like, it's like 3 hours long. It's a woman going through. She's like, you told me about this movie. And she's just peeling potatoes.
Yeah.
Are you serious? That's completely ridiculous. Yeah. So I'm not as outraged. I wasn't outraged, but I've had time to like let it sit. I'm like, fine.
It's just a bold move, really.
It is. And I feel like, the list is compiled by enough people putting it on their list anyway. So, not like they all put it as their number 1. It just got mentioned enough times.
No,
so
yeah.
it's like, it shakes out the way it does.
So the way it works is that people list their top 10 favorite movies, but I don't think they put them in any particular order. I think you just list your top 10, what you think the best movies are. And that many people put
the most amount of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Just little specs. There was 1,600 critics participating in this poll. In 2012, there were only 846.
Oh, wow. It's like
almost 1,000. Wait.
Like double.
Double. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
Are there even like 10 good movie critics out there?
I know. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That was like my dream career when I was like in high school. I was like, I'm going to be a film critic. And I was writing my IMDb movie reviews like very seriously.
Oh my God.
I was like, like first paragraph. Yeah, ridiculous.
You guys know what all the IMDb reviews are going to be for Jean Dielman? This movie's not for everyone, but I can appreciate, like, like those classic IMDb reviews.
I don't even read IMDb. Like, I go to Letterboxd before.
Yeah, Letterboxd is better now. Yeah,
IMDb's like 2.
Yeah,
like, they're pushing this agenda. I'm like, okay,
yeah, totally.
Let me not listen to you.
Do you remember the days of the IMDb message boards that they had to close down because they got too out of control?
Oh my God, no,
Those were dark days.
I was all over those message
Me
boards.
too.
Like, it was fun, but then I remember when they're closing down, I'm like, this can't be a permanent thing. And I would check. I would like, are they back? They're not back. But
well, it's a lot of just people shit talking on there too. I remember my friend, as a joke, he had nothing against Andy Garcia, but went on Andy Garcia's message board and made up this whole fabricated story about how he went over Andy Garcia's house for dinner and he served him undercooked pork. That was like the post. So I'm like honestly not surprised that they shut those down.
I mean, okay.
That's funny.
But in those pre-Letterboxd days,
yeah,
it was a fun place to hang out.
It was
on the internet.
Letterboxd thankfully like took that and ran with it, and it's like kind of the perfect place. Except the one bummer of Letterboxd is you can't DM somebody, which I guess is you know what? Honestly, it's probably a good thing.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my initial thoughts. I'm quite pleased with the representation on the list. Women and people of color. And, but I couldn't stop thinking, like, if you think back to 2012, right? That was when the last list came out. And you think about all the then contemporary movies in 2012 that people could have voted for, that people like really loved. There Will Be Blood, No Country, even like Inglourious Bastards, Black Swan. Like there were all those contemporary movies. I mean, like people really, I love Black Swan. And like it's really, I think it's considered like a modern. I mean, don't you think Black Swan is like considered, not that you necessarily, I don't know. What are your thoughts about Black Swan?
We just watched Black Swan.
It's great. It's kind of considered a modern masterpiece, Greg. Sorry. It is. But don't you guys think it's so interesting that none of those movies landed on the list? Even Terrence Malick, like Tree of Life could have been on the 2012 list. It got, but it was like, I think it was number like 105 or something.
I was going to say, a few of those were on the 250.
Right.
But not the 100.
But like, it's just so interesting that we have on this list... We have Get Out. We have Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Moonlight.
Yeah.
What were the other big contemporary ones? Well, now there's like
Parasite.
Parasite. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So on 2012, there was only Mulholland Drive and In the Mood for Love from this century.
Right.
But don't you think that's just so crazy that in 2012 there was no contemporary movies?
Yeah.
Well, in earlier iterations of the list, there was like, oh, this movie came out 2 years ago.
Tell us about that.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but we were just talking about it. I'm looking. You can't see me. I'm looking to my husband because we were just talking about. I think at the time, La Ventura had just come out.
Yes, for the 62 list.
Yeah, so like there was a few back in the day that were, placed fairly high for being really recent.
Which is so interesting because like in 2012 that didn't happen. In 2022, here we are, and cinema is supposedly dying, and yet we have all these contemporary movies.
It is dying. No.
I thought that was like really interesting.
Well, yeah, we have several 2019 movies on
That's
there.
What I'm saying.
Parasite, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, those are both 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you look at like, if we're stepping back and we're looking at these movies, I mean, you're reminded about the time we live in and the positive effect of inclusivity, and like maybe that's it. And I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting. That was the first thing I thought of. I'm like, wow, look at 2012. Look at this one. Look how many contemporary movies.
I'll accept John Dielman. I still don't even know how to say that. I will accept that as a number one movie if it means we get more women and more people of color and whatever. If that's what it costs, not costs, but
right.
It's the price we're paying.
You know what?
It's telling of the time.
I'll take it. Yeah. I was very happy to see. Yeah, like there's 2 Varda films on here. I was like, heck yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 Varda films.
Interesting the ones they picked,
We're going to get
too.
into that. We are going to get into that.
I haven't actually, I've seen a fair amount of Varda, but I haven't seen
Gleaners and I.
Me either.
Oh, where's my box set? Let's put it on right now.
It's bumped right up.
I'm kind of surprised that they didn't go with some of like Le Bonheur or something like that, which is so...
Yeah,
that movie is
like
bonkers.
It is.
It.
It's good. No, it's really good. But I was like, are you serious?
I love to hate it. Like it's like I hate to love it. No. I love to hate it.
Oh, I just love it.
No, I love it too.
Yeah.
But like you love how much you're like how angry you are while you're watching it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean like
no Vagabond, no
we'll talk about it.
Yeah. We do have an episode on that one.
Okay, so we'll talk about it now, I guess. So your personal print, The Shining, is on the list.
Oh, right.
My personal print, Vagabond, is on the director list now.
Right, but not this one.
No.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to point that out.
I know. Yeah. You know what? I just have to say, first of all, a couple that I'm completely outraged. Like a couple decisions.
I think you should wait.
Okay, I'll wait.
I think you should wait. But, all this to say, I just feel like with the intention and with Jean Dielman and all the new movies, it's like, it's married to this fact that like cinema should be for everyone. And I think because it's dying, people are really embracing that. That's one of the many reasons people are really embracing that. And it's like, if it's really dying, let's save it. Let's make people interested. Let's put these new movies, which I appreciate. I really, really do. Mm-hmm. So those are my initial thoughts. But
I think too, there's something inherent about cinema. Cinema is just inherently white and male. Like the history of cinema is white men. And there's no escaping that. I love that the new list is looking to the future. Yeah, I just think that's great.
So I'm going to read off the top 10 from 2012 and from 2022. Okay. 2012, Vertigo, Citizen Kane, Tokyo Story, Rules of the Game, Sunrise, Song of Two Humans, 2001, Space Odyssey, The Searchers, Man with a Movie Camera, Passion of Joan of Arc, and 8.5. 2022, drumroll. Well, we kind of already, I mean, it's been out for
what's
a whole
number
week
one
now. It's Jean Dielman, Vertigo, Citizen Kane, Tokyo Story. So those three kind of just shifted. In the Mood for Love at number 5,
rising through the ranks.
6 is 2001. 7 is Beau Travail.
Right, which was like way down before. Yeah.
8 is Mulholland Drive, which is wild. 9 is Man with a Movie Camera.
Wow.
And 10 is Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I think when you hear it, both of those lists read out loud.
I love that Beau Travail is like number 8, or is it number 8?
7.
That's honestly insane.
That's insane.
That is such a that's like a punk rock, like
totally.
The fact that Jean Dielman is number 1 and then Beau Travail is like number 7 is pretty punk rock, I think.
I think so too.
Like the fact that you're going to get these people that are like, oh, let's just search greatest movies of all time. They're going to see this list and like watch maybe these 10 and they're going to be subjected to those 2 films.
But
it's
you know what's
insane.
so funny? Because my sister, and we talk about this on the podcast, like our families and like watching, and my sister doesn't watch that many movies. She just watches like movies with me, really. And I texted her yesterday. I'm like, guess what? You've seen 4 movies in the top 10, which is so interesting because it is a punk rock top 10. But like I made her watch Vertigo, In the Mood for Love, 2001. And she's seen Singing in the Rain so many times. Isn't that crazy though? Like you think that it's a really crazy top 10, but then I thought about that. I'm like, wow, she's seen almost half and she doesn't watch movies.
My 6-year-old has seen 2 of the top 10.
Look at that. Look at that.
There you go.
I love
for
that.
everyone.
Wait, which one?
2001.
Okay.
And Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
How do we feel about Singing in the Rain being in the top 10?
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
I'm
yes.
really happy, but did you guys see it coming? I didn't.
I mean, I feel like it's always up there on lists of, great films. So I'm not surprised. It's
in the top 10 of the AFI.
It's like the most crowd pleasery movie I can think of. And it's definitely, I think, the most accessible to like your grandma, people. Like it's hard to not love that one.
But it was number like 20 in 2012.
I'm just glad that it's that and it's not like Gone with the Wind or
yeah.
Gone with the Wind is
and the
like,
Searchers.
not on
The Searchers too.
Searchers
got bumped
been
down.
Bumped.
Good.
Baby.
It should be off.
I know.
Wait, just speaking of Westerns, I am glad that Wild Bunch got bumped
I'm
off.
so glad.
So we did an episode on that. And we
glad.
both were like, we don't get I don't get the love for this movie.
I wasn't into it either when I watched it for the challenge. I was like, it's fine. I'm not a Western girl though. Generally.
Yeah.
But I know, you love Once Upon a Time in the West, right?
That's yes.
So when
that
I
one
reached
shocked
out,
the heck out of me.
When I reached out to Becca and I like this was over a year ago, and I was like, oh, we're thinking of like bringing on some guests. Would you want to do a movie? And Becca, you said Once Upon a Time in the West.
I did. I was trying to think of films that I probably only came to as a result of doing the challenge, and ones that surprised me because there's some that it's like, okay,
I love it.
Yeah, but from like the opening frame, I was like, okay, here we go.
I agree, and I think that it should be higher. I don't think The Searchers should be on here, and I think Once Upon a Time should be way higher.
What are your thoughts on The Searchers, Becca? I'm curious.
So my history with The Searchers, my dad really loved it, and so I came at it through a lens of like, this is a great movie because kind of when you're like echoing the opinion of people whose opinions matter to you. And just over subsequent viewings, what I was getting out of it is how beautiful it looks. Because I mean, how it's not going to not look good, but it's just kind of icky,
Icky.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I had to pick a Western, I'd go with the awesome one, which is Once Upon a Time in the West.
Totally agree.
It's
Exactly.
so good.
It is so
good. I can't wait to talk about it with you guys more.
Yeah.
In the Mood for Love in the top 10.
Can I say a controversial statement? I love the movie, but it's not
Don't.
my favorite Wong Kar-wai movie.
Days of Being Wild is?
Yeah, Days of Being Wild.
I love both. I love both a lot. I think I
Yeah.
like In the Mood for Love a little bit more.
That's
I
fair.
don't
It's a great movie. Like, no qualms.
No,
No qualms.
because In the Mood for Love is one of those like life-changing movies, I feel like, where Days of Being Wild isn't necessarily. Like when you see, I don't know. I think that like, especially there's been kind of this resurgence for it, I feel like, and it is like considered the beautiful movie. Like this like
Sumptuous.
I don't know. For me, at least it was. Like, I only
Yeah.
saw it like a few years ago and I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know a movie could do that. So
Yeah.
for that fact, I'm so happy that it's on the top 10. I really am.
And
I
they've
think
got
it
to be
might
the
be-
most like gorgeous couple in film history.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
I'm just
Seriously.
like, I would date both of you.
And he's having, I feel like so many people are coming to him now through,
Yes.
because he was in
Some Marvel movie.
Shang-Chi, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So all these American sort of kids are like, oh, Tony Leung and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe with this being on the top 10, more people will see In the Mood for Love. Like young kids,
Yeah.
you know, go watch it.
Are you happy about Mulholland Drive?
Listen, that's honest. That's also not my favorite David Lynch movie.
Oh, it's not?
No. You know what? The fact that like on the 2012 list, people are like, okay, there's two masterpieces from the 21st century, In the Mood for Love and Mulholland Drive. I'm like, okay, there's others. Like,
Yeah.
I love Mulholland Drive. I think it's a great film. It's not my favorite David Lynch movie. I think it's like the most straightforward of a lot of his stuff. I think I would have been happier if it was Fire Walk with Me or
in the top 10?
Blue Velvet. Honestly, it's in my top 10. But like, or Eraserhead or something. As long as they're going to be punk rock, let's do
Eraserhead
another.
is on the director.
It's on the director's one, yeah.
Shall we talk about, so when we first started doing Seen and Heard, our first episode was like, it was kind of like this. Like we went through and we talked about like how many films by this director and how many films not by this
There's
director.
less Godard now.
That was the first person I wrote down. So let's talk about Godard.
Yeah.
So there is
Good riddance.
So basically,
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. That hurt to
he's
say.
so annoying.
He made Agnes Varda cry in, was it Faces Places? Yeah. He was.
What?
Have you guys seen Faces?
No, I actually haven't.
No.
Okay.
That was one of her last ones, right?
Yeah.
Why did he make her cry?
We have
Or
to
do you wanna-
watch it.
okay, yeah,
You
don't
have to
tell me.
watch it.
I will.
Yeah.
See, I knew he was a son of a bitch.
Wait, in a bad way? Cry of sadness or
Hurt her
happiness?
feelings.
What?
He hurt her feelings.
How dare he?
Well, plus I'm mad at him. He was Goodbye to Language, right?
Yes, I believe so.
So I had to sit through that. My husband's laughing in the other room. Oh my God. It was maybe you guys would love it. I don't know. It was very like, it was like watching a parody of an
Of a
artsy
Godard
fartsy
movie.
French
Yeah.
movie. And I was just like crossing my arms the whole time. I was like, I'm so mad that I'm sitting here through this. And, you know, I'm in a packed theater of people like, wow,
Yeah.
masterpiece. I'm like, no, I hated it.
Well, that's how
So
Greg feels
he's
about
on my list.
Breathless.
Was that the one in 3D?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it.
It's like,
in no way.
half of it will be in like one of your eyes will be seeing 3D. I don't know. It was
Oh my God.
Okay, so his
Well, no,
movies.
honestly, that's how I
frustrating.
feel about him in general. Is half of them are insufferable trash, and then I like a few others.
So it's the same.
I don't hate
for-
Breathless, by the way. That's a misconception.
It's the same for films that were on the 2012 list, but they all got bumped lower. So Breathless, Contempt, Histoire du Cinema, which I've never seen,
that was one I didn't get to.
and Pierrot le Fou. It's the same four movies, but they all just kind of got bumped.
Bump down.
And some a lot. Like Breathless was 13, and now it's 38.
Yeah, good. Next list it'll be even lower.
It'd be 99.
God. But I started thinking about it, and I'm like, as time goes by and people don't pay a lot of attention to older movies, like, will there ever be a list with like just one or maybe none?
But you think like eventually all the older films will
that's
get
what
bumped
I'm
off the list?
saying.
Ah.
It really got me
I
thinking.
mean, look, Man with the Movie Camera is still in the
I was
top
gonna
10.
say
True.
there's going to be those early pioneers that people are always going to give credit to.
Guys, this is
Yeah.
my freshest, like, this is my first time experiencing a new list. I think that's why I'm freaking out a little bit.
Right.
So, like, that's why I said, I'm like, is Hitchcock ever going to be in trouble? Which I don't think, but
Well.
it just got me thinking. Like, Dreyer got a bunch of movies, or one movie got bumped, and then everything else moved lower for him.
Right.
So I started thinking about that.
Yeah, because wasn't Joan of Arc in the top 10 before?
It was in the top 10, and now it is number 21.
See, I would have kept Joan of Arc in the top 10 and bumped
Arc.
Man with the Movie Camera down to 20.
I would have too.
Yeah.
I would have too. I don't know. Same for Hitchcock too.
Yeah.
It's Vertigo, Psycho, Rear Window, North by Northwest. Actually, funnily enough, Rear Window went up. It's number 38. It used to be number 53.
I love Rear Window.
I love it. It's my
I
favorite.
watch it every
actually.
summer.
I
like
love
it's unbearably hot. It's time to watch.
It's a
Rear
great,
it is a summer movie,
it's a great summer movie. So he's
I have
safe.
my summer Hitchcocks. I have my fall Hitchcocks.
What are the fall Hitchcocks?
What are the fall?
Well, most of them. Well,
That's true.
I don't know how this started, but like for a long time, like high school probably, my kickoff to like spooky season was The Birds.
Oh.
Nice.
I love The Birds. It's so campy and fun.
Yeah.
Hitchcock's birthday is August 15th, I want to say. So I'm like, it's Hitchcock Day. So I'll just like, it's like that late summer, like we're kind of over summer and you're ready to get into like, so that's thriller season for me. So,
I love that.
But yeah, Rear Window, To Catch a Thief is the summer one.
Summer.
Yeah, the fall ones, all the
Dial M for Murder.
I love Dial M for Murder. Too. I'm like, how do you think of it? You're so diabolical. Like every little thing that pans out, it's so satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, I love Hitchcock movies.
I love
There's so many
Hitchcock
good
too.
ones.
That's why I'm saying I don't think he'll ever be in trouble, or not for
He
not
will.
in my lifetime.
He's already kind of in trouble a little bit.
Well,
His 4 movies
kind
are still
of an
on it.
asshole.
He
Yeah.
is.
So it's like, I feel like, yeah, we can acknowledge that his films are fantastic, but history's not going to look
A Predator
back at him
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. He's definitely problematic, but
And
I can't not watch his movies ever
There-
again.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, film's tricky like that because, like, yeah, you have the creepers, but films are so collaborative.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's not like
can't throw
he
away
wrote a
everyone's
book by
effort,
himself
yeah.
and you're not going to read the book anymore. It's like there's
Exactly.
so many people on a film team and the performances.
right.
It's like, I don't want to, you know,
Production design, costume,
all of
like,
it. Yeah.
just
It's a whole
everything.
team thing. And it's like, yeah, this person sucks, but it's like, I don't want to dismiss all the work that everyone put into
You're right.
the final thing.
I feel the same way.
Are there any artists for you where you like just can't do any of this stuff not because of the work, but because of their personal lives?
Well, the Woody Allen of it all. I think
Yeah, the elephant in the room.
we haven't watched. I say we. Sorry, my husband and I are a unit apparently. I love a lot of his films, but it's like a lot of the newer ones. It's like, can you just stop? You're not really a person people want to work with anymore. Just retire. Just go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's any. I mean, I have like irrational hate for people for no reason.
Right,
I just don't enjoy watching them in movies. But like, I don't think there's any that I've like sworn off completely. Because like Roman Polanski, for example, Rosemary's Baby is Rosemary's Baby is one of my favorite films in any genre of all time, like top 5. I mean, I'm not going to never watch it again, you know, but like, come on, Ruth Gordon. Like,
How do you feel about Chinatown being on the list? Wait, is it on the new one? But not Rosemary's Baby. Would you flip those?
Yeah, Rosemary's Baby wasn't on 2012 though.
No, I know, but do you think it should be instead of Chinatown?
I would flip him.
I mean, the thing with lists like these, it's like, okay, it's important. It's like, whatever. I'm going to pick the more enjoyable,
Right.
slightly campy, slightly funny, whatever. I love Rosemary's Baby. I would watch it 100 times before. I mean, I like Chinatown. It's a good movie, but no, yeah, of course I put Rosemary's Baby. It's fantastic.
It really is.
It's so good.
So-
Like, it's one of those movies. I'm sorry. I'm not going to turn this to the Rosemary's Baby podcast.
I think you should, honestly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go. Episode 1. No, it's just one of those movies that you just catch little details, new little things every time you watch it. And I'm like, I love to hate Guy Cassavetes in that movie.
Yes.
And I'm like, or his name is Guy.
He's Guy, yeah.
He's Guy. You know what I meant. You know what I meant.
Wait, what's their last name?
Woodhouse.
Woodhouse, yeah.
Woodhouse. So Cassavetes as Guy. I merged them. Yeah, he's so
Very hateable.
and he's so interesting. Like I'm always so interested by his character. Anyway, Rosemary's Baby's great.
They're not
and
really-
it'd be great to see it on the list.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think like that kind of movie isn't made today in terms of like we have the A24 horror movies, which is kind of in the same space, but in terms of like That film as a drama, like,
Restrained.
is incredible.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it's just a film. Like, you don't go into it like, oh, this is a thriller, this is a horror movie.
yeah.
Like, it's just a film first and foremost.
Yeah.
Not to like put down. I mean, A24 makes a lot of incredible stuff that I genuinely love, but no, they don't make movies quite like that anymore. It's not to sound too old or anything, but
So
Films these days.
let's talk about Bergman.
okay, Fanny and
Let's.
Alexander is gone.
We lost 3 Bergmans, you guys.
Yes.
Wild Strawberries, Fanny and Alexander, and Seventh Seal, making Persona the only remaining
That's
Bergman
nuts.
movie on the list, which I think is nuts.
Someone needs to be spanked over that.
That I'm really upset about. But
Yeah.
all 3 remain on the director's list.
I think it's completely unacceptable.
I think it's horrible because you know why? Like, I don't think I'm obsessed with Persona, like one of my favorite movies of all time, but I don't think it's representative of Bergman. Like, if we're gonna have one Bergman on the list, I
Seventh
don't
Seal?
think it should be Persona. I don't really know
I
what
don't know
it
how you
should
could
be.
pick one.
Exactly, which is why I was so happy that there were so many.
Yes, we had 4, and now we have 1.
We have 1, and it's Persona.
Honestly,
which
I
I
can't.
love, but
I can't wrap my head around the fact that Fanny and Alexander is gone. Like,
Yeah.
that's like maybe my
I
single
was
favorite
happy-
film from the list.
I think if you had to pick one, I would pick Fanny and Alexander because it has
it's a
everything.
summation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like Cries and Whispers.
I love Cries and Whispers.
That I believe, I'm not sure if it was on the 100, but I definitely watched it for the 250.
Wasn't on the 100.
And it was funny because, yeah, Bergman's so interesting. Like, that one in particular, I saw it and I was like, like unmoved by it. And then the second time, it was like
Yeah.
a completely different movie.
It grows on you.
Yeah, I
It
was
does
like,
grow
this
on
is
you.
amazing. Like, I don't know. That one, I feel like I've had the most strong emotional reaction to on the second viewing. 'Cause I feel like the first one doesn't count because I clearly wasn't watching it properly. But yeah, I don't know how you pick one Bergman.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I don't know either.
Like, just the image of like Chess with Death, like that's
Yeah.
everywhere. And like,
Exactly. Seventh Seal's the most iconic,
Wasn't
I feel
Seventh
like.
Seal was like in the teens beforehand, so it went from being in the teens to just being off the 100 list. Like,
Yeah.
what?
yeah, it's
Actually,
strange.
you know what? If I had to pick just one Bergman to be on the list, as much as I love Fanny and Alexander, it would be Seventh Seal. Just because
yeah.
that's like the iconic Bergman film, and I do think it's a masterpiece
think it's amazing,
worthy
too.
of its stature. But
That's my biggest irk, I think, with the new list.
yeah, they did Bergman dirty. You know who
Yeah.
else they did dirty?
Who?
Altman.
Oh, that was the
Who
next
only
person on my
he
list.
only had one. It was Nashville, which okay, that and Fanny and Alexander are my 2 favorite movies from the 2012 list.
And they're both gone.
And they're both gone. And the fact, look, if
I agree with you.
if
completely.
the replacements, if the whole list was like bulletproof, I'd be like, okay, well, I don't agree with it. But the fact that there's a couple movies on the list that like really irk me, and I can't believe that they're on instead of Nashville.
Do you want to talk about them?
I was gonna say, I want to know what they are.
There's
Tell
one.
us.
There's a glaring one for me.
Tell
I think you know what I'm
us.
gonna say,
I
Jackie.
do.
It's Get Out. It's Get Out. I think Get Out is such a mediocre ass movie,
Ooh.
and I know I'm like alone in that. And it's funny because I saw it when it came out, so it was like pre-hype, and I like saw it opening weekend or the weekend after, and I was like, okay, it's fine. And then the hype came, and I was like, wait, did I miss something? So I went back like a year or 2 later. I saw it again, and I was like, no, this doesn't do it for me. Like, it's not bad, but I'm just like, it felt like someone's first film. And I was like, okay, well, maybe let's see what he does next. And then he did Us, and I saw Us when it came out, and I was like, this is not great. And then he just did Nope this year. He came out with Nope, and I was like, all right, look, I don't really like his previous 2. I'm going to see Nope anyway. I saw Nope. Guess what? That's probably the worst one. I do think his best is Get Out, but even then, I think Get Out is like fine for like a first film. And the fact that
Fine for a first
it's now
film. I'm going to use that
the
term.
fact that Jordan Peele has a film on the top 100 greatest of all time list is the most scandalous thing to me. And it's not because he comes from
Yeah.
comedy. I love Key and Peele and everything. It's not that I think, but I just don't think he's like a great filmmaker. And it blows my mind that that's on, and Nashville's gone, and Fanny and Alexander's gone. And we don't have like There'll Be Blood or The Master or something, but it's like Get Out. It blows my mind.
It's kind of crazy.
What do you guys think about Get Out?
I like Get Out. Well, it's tricky when you add recent films to a list like this. Like, I feel
Totally.
like they have to sort of settle and see how they age.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not mad about it. I kind of get why it's there. I clearly enjoyed it more than you did. I did not like Us, though.
Yeah.
I did like Nope. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Get Out, I'm not going to say it was the first, but it's sort of, if I'm going to give it credit for something beyond just its own merits as a standalone movie, I feel like it sort of ushered in the whole social commentary
It did.
genre picture. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
I
a sort of
feel
a horror
like-
thriller, but it's like, okay,
Much
well,
more.
Giving it meaning.
yeah, what's the historical background for these themes, you know? And
Yeah.
I feel like it's a very like, I think the description on the Sight and Sound, because when you hovered over the movies, it had like a description. It said something like the movie that ushered in the Black Lives Matter movement, which it can't like.
it
I
was
mean,
well after
was-
that, but
Yeah, because the movie was like 2016, I think.
Well, I don't know, but I do think
Black
that it
Lives
is
Matter
like a
before it.
movie of our
But yeah.
generation. I really do strongly believe that. So I don't know. I think that it's really. I
Wait,
get
have you
where
seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh my god,
Wait.
you haven't seen it. Because
Guys,
you don't like horror.
Can I do confession time? I have not seen Get Out or Us or Nope because I don't do thrillers. Like I really don't.
Wait, what about Hitchcock?
That's
those are
different?
thr-
It's Hitchcock.
Those are thrillers.
Yeah, but they're not actually scary.
Some of them are a little saucy.
I've
They're just-
never had a
not
nightmare.
saucy, but
I've never had a nightmare for anything made like before
Really?
1985.
Wait, have you seen The Innocents or The Haunting?
Yes.
I
Not-
love
I
The
haven't
Innocents.
cried. I cried. I didn't get scared.
Wait, you saw The Innocents, right?
I saw The Innocents.
And you didn't think you didn't like
It
think
was
about it when you went to
scary,
bed?
but No.
Oh,
I
interesting.
don't know. So I have not seen them, but I do think that Get Out
It's
is
not
this
actually
movie of-
scary. Yeah,
I know.
You'll be,
You know
you'd be
what? I was
fine.
actually really going to try and watch it before today's episode. I just didn't have time. I actually, I really wanted to. But Altman. So I think that it's really sad that there's no Altman on the list. I think that Nashville for me, and we talked about it in our Nashville episode. I'm so glad we did the Nashville episode when we did it.
While it
because-
was still on the list.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Robert Altman Jr. If you haven't seen that episode, go listen because
Heard.
it was one of it's one of our favorites. I don't know. I just feel like Nashville is like for me the ultimate movie about America in a way,
Yes.
and now it's
Yes.
gone. So it's sad.
Warts and all. No, I do think.
they're trying to make this an international list. They're like, it's
It is
too
an
red, white, and
international
blue.
list.
Yeah, no,
Get
I
it
don't
off.
think it
But that movie is so critical
I
of
know, I
the
know.
American
so critical.
people.
Exactly.
I just think by removing Altman that somehow this list is not like an actual list. It's like-
Damn.
I mean, I'm sorry. He's like one of the very few like true geniuses.
Yeah.
I think removing him is insane.
Yeah. So with Scorsese, we lost Raging Bull, but we got Goodfellas.
That is
pisses you
so
off. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too.
I don't approve. Of
I
that.
like-
Well, I like Goodfellas.
I like Goodfellas too.
I really liked Raging Bull.
I like Raging Bull more.
Yeah, I don't approve.
You guys think it's just because there's like younger critics now? Like,
No, here's what I think. And I think I like them equally. Like Goodfellas was a life-changing movie for me, but more so than Raging Bull, probably because I saw it before Raging Bull. But Goodfellas is more part of the public consciousness now, more so
Definitely.
than Raging Bull.
okay,
But that's not what this list is necessarily
exactly. There's no
supposed to be.
Spielberg.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I'm very sad about the lack of Spielberg, and maybe
You
that
are.
I'm just being.
I think so too.
Oh, I agree with you.
I
Couch
am as
potato
well.
person who likes happy, feel good movies, but I mean, it's Steven Spielberg.
Exactly.
Like one, you can't give him one.
exactly.
It's
Jaws is on the director list,
Still.
but still Jaws.
Yeah, come on.
I love Jaws.
No, yeah, Joss is great. Well,
No, Jaws
I
is
like all of
great.
them.
but-
No. Like, he's another one. Like, how do you pick one? Like, they're so different. I
And
don't
there's
know.
none on the list.
I know.
Like that shocks me.
Because I'm like, if I had to pick one, I was like, well, no, like 5 come to mind. You know, it's just it's
Yeah.
hard to narrow it down.
What would you pick? You have to pick. What would you pick?
This is so hard.
First one that comes to mind.
E.T. is the one I'm most emotionally connected to.
Same.
I don't know if you can see in my kitchen. We're in my house. I have a Close Encounters poster in my kitchen. So that one was also a very formative movie for me in my early years. I don't know how you would pick. It's too hard. But
It is
Greg,
hard.
you would
E.T. is
pick Jaws,
lovely. Jaws
I
is
love E.T.
great, though. Jaws is really good.
No, I wouldn't pick Jaws.
Raiders.
Raiders or E.T.
I would pick Raiders, I think.
But you know what? Honestly,
Raiders is also great.
if
yeah,
they
I
were,
don't know.
yeah, I don't know. It's there's like 6, but like if there was one that shaped me the most, it's Temple of Doom. Honestly,
Nobody would put that on the top 100. Can
you know
imagine?
what? The next list that needs to be in the top 5, and then I'll be like, okay, this is super
I would
punk rock.
die laughing. in
Oh my
Temple of Doom.
Okay.
The one that Spielberg himself isn't even all
Right,
that proud
that's
of.
He is so wrong about that. If I ever meet him, I'm like that. I'm gonna talk to him about Temple of Doom and like how much it changed my life.
You should.
I will, and he'll be like, "Oh God, don't tell
You
me
gotta
that."
go to I went to Comic-Con once and Spielberg was there and someone was
God.
wearing a shirt that, because you weren't supposed to make personal requests, but a shirt said, I would like nothing more than to meet Steven Spielberg and shake his hand. It was just written on his shirt. So he got to the mic and just didn't even say anything. He just smiled and they brought him on stage and took pictures. and
That's
stuff.
really cute.
So you gotta go to some
my
event
God.
where he's there like, Mr. Spielberg, I have thoughts
play it
about
up.
Temple of Doom. It's just like your whole speech on your
should.
shirt.
That's perfect.
Maybe he'll notice you.
Yeah,
Let's talk about Agnes Varda and
Yay.
French New Wave in general, which
Yeah.
seems to have lost a lot of love.
yes, I'm not surprised.
No Jules and Jim. There's no Truffaut. Oh wait, I'm sorry. There's 400 Blows.
Yeah, 400 Blows.
Wait, was Jules and Jim on the 2012?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
as long as they kept 400 blows.
No
that's-
Jules and Jim, and the highest French New Wave movie is Cleo from 5 to 7,
Oh.
which was not even on the list in 2012.
Oh, good.
Isn't that crazy?
I didn't even clock that. That's great. I love that.
I noticed
movie.
that. I
Yeah.
was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I think it's a great choice.
yeah.
And you know what? Godard is in that movie.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Liar.
How because I just block out everything Godard.
So yes, we have Cleo and we have Gleaners and I.
Yeah,
from Agnes
that's a
Varda.
deep cut pick. Like, I mean,
Becca, you said you haven't.
I
you
have not
okay.
seen Gleaners and I. I've seen a fair amount of Agnes Varda.
Yeah.
I saw you have the
It's such an
Varda box
interesting
set on the
choice.
It
shelf
was the
over there.
Varda box set, and for a while, yeah, they were streaming, so I was just watching them during my students' nap time. Yeah, I think I saw is it Lay or La? The happiness one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god.
I can't pronounce foreign
Maybe it
words,
is
you
Lay.
guys.
I
I don't know.
So
that one I definitely watched in the classroom, and I was like outraged.
That's a crazy movie to watch.
Wait, do
in
we
the
all
classroom.
have the Agnes Varda Criterion
I
box
have
set?
it as
Yeah, I
well,
have it
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Well, we all have it.
We all have it. It's so funny because Gleaners and I was shot on a camcorder,
oh.
and that's the one that made. That's the other one.
That's
that
kinda
made
punk
it.
rock.
She's a
It is
boss.
punk rock.
I was gonna
I
say
mean,
if
she
the
is
theme of this list is like
girl
yeah.
boss, which I love.
punk rock, who cares? Controversial, like why not? Do
But I
it.
gotta see it. It has now moved up to the top of my list.
Yeah.
Italians.
Italians.
It's salad.
La Ventura went way down.
That is bullshit.
I think that's kind of bullshit too. It went from 21 to number 72.
So it'll be off the
Wow.
next one probably.
That's so crazy, you guys. That's a beautiful movie.
That's a top 15 for me. Top 15, top 20 should be there.
I'm shocked. I really am.
In fact, you know what? Maybe this is a bold statement. That might be. I would rank that highest of all the Italian movies. I think if I had to pick
Really?
one, I think so.
More than La Dolce Vita?
I was gonna say
Slight-
more than all the Fellini.
Slightly higher, yes. I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't
There's no more L'Eclise, which I'm happy about because I thought that movie kind of sucked.
I forgot it was
It
on the list.
does.
Well, we still have to do an episode on it.
Great. No, I mean, it's very visually appealing. It's like two of the most beautiful people ever, but it's just icky kind of.
I like that it's kind of icky.
It's too much. It distracts you. Yeah, Fellini is still it's still the two Fellini movies, 8.5, La Dolce Vita.
Yeah.
Went from top 10 to number 31.
Wait, what?
8.5.
8.5? You know what? I'm just saying I'm ahead of the curve on that one.
What, 8.5? Oh yeah, you don't like that either.
Whoa. First of all, I don't know if you remember, I like the movie. I just don't think it's this like, I don't hold it in the same regard as other people. That's all I'm saying.
Tune into our 8.5 episode. It's a little ways back, and you can hear more in detail about how Greg
What did I say was like a better 8.5?
night and day.
No, it wasn't.
Wait, what did I say?
Shit. Well, you're talking about Day for Night.
No,
not Day for Night.
One of those.
It was something else.
There was something else. I remember we talked about it. Irma Vep.
Yeah, I like Irma Vep more than 8.5. Yes.
I love Irma Vep.
But yeah.
I think Irma Vep should have been on the list.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I would have been okay with that.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's really good.
You'd really like it.
Put it on the list.
You'd really, really like it. Oh, you guys know what I noticed? We lost like homework movies. Quite a few.
No, because Man with the Movie Camera is still on there.
Man with the Movie Camera is, but Chien Andalou is not.
Oh, I didn't realize that had been kicked.
No Intolerance.
Oh, I could have told you that. That was low before
no
too.
Greed.
Oh.
Remember Greed?
Of course, I actually really loved Greed.
Yeah, he loved Greed. How did you feel about Greed?
I liked Greed. I remember starting it and like, I'm not going to make it through this movie, but
It was
very long, but I was a lot more engaged than I thought I would be. I was surprised.
Do you think Greed is a real movie?
With how cobbled together it is? I mean, I don't know.
So we had this whole thing on our Greed episode.
It exists.
We had this whole thing on our Greed episode.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
I was like, I don't think this should be on the list because I don't think it's a movie. I think it's a lost movie. And now it's not on the list.
It's just reconstructed.
It is reconstructed.
You guys, more than half of it is just the same still photos. More than half.
La Jetée is...
exactly.
But that's intentional and it's only 15 minutes.
No, I see your point. But I mean, it's enough to get a story across. I mean, it's what we have. I'll take it, you know?
I don't know.
I agree with you, Becca, in terms of like, I got so invested in that movie, like more than because you look at the runtime, you're like, okay, boy. And then you start it and you just like get wrapped up in that story.
Yeah. I was like, that one, I think I actually, and it sounds bad to be like, I actually watched it in one sitting because I don't do that very often with long movies. But yeah, I just like cozied up on the couch and powered through and I was like, that was actually better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Do I want to pop it in again? No. But, you know.
But I kind of like that these homework movies aren't on it anymore.
No, it's like kids have to eat their vegetables. It's the same thing.
You think?
Yeah.
This is like a major debate.
Well, I mean, something like Chien Andalou it's short.
Yeah.
It's a little nugget of homework. I saw that movie. Well, I've seen it, but I always would look away at the slice. But we were on our honeymoon in Paris at the Cinematheque.
Aww.
And they were just like, there were screens just showing snippets of things. And I like happened to look up and it was the slice and I screamed because I just wasn't ready for it. I was like, oh my God. It was the slice. It was Chien Andalou. I've been avoiding it my whole life. And there it is.
Let's talk.
I think a couple of those movies, like, does Intolerance deserve to be on the top 100? No.
Battleship Potemkin is still on it, but it's way down.
Right. Yeah. You know,
I think that's
your
a good
theory
homework
of
movie.
They are cleaning out the homework movies.
That's what I'm saying. Battleship Potemkin went from being number 11 to number 53.
Wow.
That's crazy. I love that La Talente is still on there though, because I really loved that.
Oh,
movie.
I was lukewarm on that.
I know. I can't believe it. I love it.
There's
Did you ever
so
see
many
it?
kittens in it.
There are so many kittens. Yeah.
We watched that one with our film club, and they're like, "There's so many cats in this movie."
love
Like,
it.
everywhere. No, it's sweet. But
I
it's
think so,
also,
too.
I mean,
It's kind of a homework, but that's what I'm saying. Of all the homework ones, it remains, which I'm happy about. Powell and Pressburger.
Okay, Colonel Blimp is gone.
I know.
Colonel Blimp.
I love
gone.
Colonel Blimp.
But they traded it for the Red Shoes, which mysteriously was not on the 2012 Top 100.
yeah.
Red Shoes is fantastic.
Red Shoes is fantastic.
agree.
That's why I'm not like upset about it.
I
But
agree.
Blimp does deserve to be on the top 100.
Matter of Life and Death is still on it.
It
too,
is, yeah.
which is surprising.
But they should
I
have
feel
kept
Colonel
Blimp
especially
and bumped Matter of
because
Life
it's
and Death.
BFI, and Colonel Blimp is like I feel like it's
like
like
the
British
British film.
Forrest Gump a little bit.
No, it's hot.
Britishness.
Yeah, so I'm a little shocked.
No, it's more like the British Kane. Like people don't actually like Forrest Gump, so I
No, I
wouldn't say
know, but I
Forrest
just
Gump.
mean like if you're
I
thinking
don't like
about like
Forrest
this
Gump. I feel
major,
validated.
I don't like I don't like Forrest Gump. Just to be clear, but I'm just saying it is kind of this
I don't hate
ultra. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I loved when we watched Colonel Blimp. we were both like giddy for like a week after. Do you remember?
Yeah, I mean, I'd seen it before, but yes.
I hadn't seen it, and it really, really, like, I think about it all the time. So I'm sad. But I'm so glad that it was on the list, and I watched it when I did. I would have watched it.
That movie
anyway,
has
but...
ruined other movies' poor aging of actors for me.
Yes.
Totally.
Like, he looks completely convincing.
Yes.
And how are you going to give me like some CGI faced person and try to tell me anything and it looks like garbage?
Yeah.
Like, do we need to go back to like makeup school, or like these things can be done? Like, I was blown away by how convincingly they aged.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Clive.
Roger Livesey.
Oh, Roger Livesey, yeah.
Love him.
Yeah, just how he looked.
It's crazy for the 40s, right?
It's bonkers. I was like seriously blown away, and then I'm like, why does everything look like garbage?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Guys, this is so funny. I feel like this is the episode of like a TV show, like a sitcom. Remember when sitcoms
Like
used
clip
to have...
reels?
Yeah,
Yes!
yeah, exactly.
It's
I
like
feel like this is what we're doing. It's so fun.
This is me secretly infiltrating every episode I've wanted to be on, and like my commentary at home by myself in my car or whatever. I'm sneaking onto every episode here.
I know we already talked about the Western a little bit, but I just want to read you guys the description of the searchers. Like I said, when you hover over it, there's a little description. So here's what it says. This Pole's last Western standing, John Ford's sweeping, stirring rescue or revenge quest remains a film of magnificent mystery and poetry.
I get it.
You
but
do? Poetry?
Not that I agree, but I get the,
But it's not the last Western standing. Yes, Once Upon a Time in the West is a spaghetti
Honestly,
Western, but it's a Western if I ever saw one.
You know what should be on there instead of that is Stagecoach.
Yes.
I feel like Stagecoach did more for filmmaking too, and it's a better movie.
Yeah. Let's talk about some additions we love.
I love the push towards animation, and I love the two Miyazaki films that are in it. We now have Totoro and Spirited Away.
And isn't it funny that they're back to back?
No love for Takahata though. Where's Only Yesterday or Grave of the Fireflies or but that's okay.
It's a start.
We'll start with the two big Miyazaki ones. Those both are masterpieces. Fully should be on the top 100.
But it's funny that they're back to back. Like, how did that? It's like if one person voted for one, they voted for the other one. Like, it exactly matched up.
Yeah, I bet a lot of people just put them on like both lists.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was a good one. The Apartment, you guys.
Oh, it's gone?
No, it's there. It wasn't on 2012.
Oh, I didn't know it
was
wasn't
like,
on
what?
2012.
No, it wasn't on 2012.
Oh, okay. Huh.
I kind of love that. Like, The Apartment is truly, it was one of the earliest movies I saw where I was like, wow, like, this is like real movies.
It's really good.
Yeah.
That's
So I'm
a
happy
New
about
Year's
that.
Eve movie.
Oh, yeah. It's perfect for that.
I have lots of New Year's Eve movies.
What
I'm
other
not
ones?
sure I
I'm
do.
curious.
Poseidon Adventure.
I've never seen that one. I've always meant to.
Poseidon Adventure.
Have you
It sounds
seen
like a
it?
ride.
Oh, I'm excited to talk to you guys about it. Very briefly, it is one of those like star-studded disaster movies of the 70s. Boat crash or wave flips it over. Basically, the whole cruise ship flips over, and it's like, who's gonna make it out? It's like Gene Hackman, Shelley Winters, Jack Albertson, what's his face, Roddy McDowell. Like, there's so many people in it. And it's like New Year's Eve on the Poseidon, and it flips over, and they're just like surviving for their lives. I love that movie probably more than most people. I went to a fan club screening of it in San Pedro, and they had some of the original cast members, and I was like, yes!
God.
Like, no one I knew in my life I could talk to about it.
I haven't seen it.
It's just campy and very enjoyable.
I didn't know you like camp movies so much.
I like all movies.
Yeah.
I'm a movie person.
Same.
Wait, are there any additions to the list that really popped out to you?
I really liked Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Yeah, agreed.
But I will say it's a fancy dessert movie for me. I've seen it once. The other one that comes to mind for me is Phantom Thread, where it's like I enjoyed it so much that I don't want to like dull the experience by watching it too many times. Like, I was fully weeping in the final act at how everything came together. I was super moved by it, and I'm really excited to see it on this list.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that's one of the really worthy new additions. Also, Moonlight too.
Moonlight.
Yeah.
I was going to say Moonlight too. I mean
I
La La
agree.
Land. I mean Moonlight. Kidding.
That
I'm
remains my
still-
favorite Oscars moment.
I'm so thrilled that I got to see. I'm an Oscars nerd. I like watch
do
Oscars clips on
too.
YouTube all the time, and I'm so pleased that I got to like watch that in real
Live.
time.
I know, me too.
Like, I was there.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I have a photo because we always go to my in-laws and they have like an Oscar party and they bet and stuff, and it's fun. And I have a quick picture I snapped of everyone standing up at the TV when that happened, just like a couple feet away from the TV, just standing up, staring at like what's happening, because we're all like, oh, it's over, and then we're like, what?
Yeah.
So I just have that a quick.
It was an
picture
epic
of
moment.
The shock.
Historic.
I fully think Moonlight is a masterpiece, and I'm very, very happy.
Yes.
Moonlight is beautiful,
Yeah.
and
I'm
I'm
so-
really happy
yeah.
it's on here.
Me too.
I'm
And
so happy.
also Oscars wise, I mean, what a better film than La La Land. Like Jesus. When La La Land won, I was like, no. Moonlight is so much better.
I like La La Land.
I like La La Land mostly. It's not a start to finish masterpiece the way Moonlight is. There's like certain, like I really love that I'm gonna ruin. I don't know the name of it. Her audition, her like monologue song.
That's the
Mhm.
only song Greg likes.
It's beautiful,
It
and
is
I was
beautiful,
actually
yeah.
really mad that it didn't win the Oscar. I mean, it was up against another La La
It's
Land
like
song.
City of Stars or something.
Yeah, and it's funny because when they did the live performance in the show, they did kind of a medley of like they mashed up the two songs, and it got infinitely more interesting when it got to that other song.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, and the winner's City of Stars. I'm like, no, the good part of that song you heard earlier was the other song.
Completely agree. Yeah.
But anyway, no, I really liked her in La La Land, but I'm beyond happy that it ended up going to Moonlight, because
Yeah.
man, that was really good.
Yeah.
The
I think-
structure of
yeah.
it, I love the slow-mo with like the classical music
It's
over it. It was
gorgeous.
just like, oh, so good.
Yeah, I think it's one of the handful of like truly transcendent movies that's come out
I
in
think
the,
so.
the last couple years.
I would have liked to see Tree of Life, honestly, as well.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like the obvious pick, but I'm kind of surprised it didn't actually happen.
There's no
yeah.
Malick. Like, there's no Terrence Malick on the
Yeah, that's
list,
pretty
which is
crazy.
really sad
Oh,
to me.
for me, it would be Days of Heaven, but yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, probably. I'm so happy that Madame de remains, you guys. Did you hear
Wait,
Madame
it's still
de-
on? Oh my god,
Yes!
that's so
I was
funny.
so worried about it.
It's near the bottom, but it's there.
It might, it's higher than it was before, because before it was literally at the bottom.
Hell
bottom.
yeah.
You know what? That's
It's the
crazy.
actual
That's still there.
bottom.
I'm so happy it's still there.
That was one of our big surprises so far of like doing the list. Was like
we
Madame
always
Duh.
talk about it
Yeah.
because we both loved it.
Uh,
So I'm really happy.
Godfather 2 is gone, which is
It
crazy
is?
because Godfather 1
Catch that.
and Godfather 2 were pretty close. I feel like they were in the 20s or 30s. Godfather remains. In fact, I think it even might be slightly higher now.
Godfather's 12.
And Godfather
Mine
2.
is-
Oh, yeah. So it went up at least 10 points or something like that. Godfather 2, gone.
Really? It's
Love
on the
Godfather
director
2.
list.
Good. At least it's somewhere.
But you know what? In some weird way, like subbing Godfather 2 for Goodfellas, like I'm okay with that, I guess. Like,
I'm not.
They're both great. They're both
Godfather
great.
2 over Goodfellas.
I'd take
That's
Godfather
fair.
2 over Goodfellas as well.
That's fair.
It has a much hotter Robert De Niro in
Yeah,
it.
oh my god, the
That's
hotter.
true.
If I'm
That's-
being shallow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but Ray Liotta and Goodfellas,
No.
that
No.
magnetic energy,
Not even a little
No.
bit. His little
Yeah,
No.
his rat smile.
I
Love him,
can't.
but no.
When he laughs, I'm like, stop.
Okay.
Do you know what's gone, Jackie?
What?
Color of Pomegranates.
I'm really, really sad about that, actually. I was going to talk about
That's
it.
a huge bummer.
I'm really sad. It's still on the director list, but it really, I was really, really heartbroken at that. And what made me even more pissed off is like I hovered over it again and to see on the director list what the description was. Listen to the description. For Color of Pomegranates, this is the only description there is. The film that Martin Scorsese compared to opening a door and walking into another dimension where time has stopped and beauty has been unleashed. That's the description for this movie.
Oh my
like,
God.
one, way to westernize it, okay?
yeah,
Two,
yeah.
be more obvious that whoever wrote this has never seen Color of Pomegranates and does not know what the fuck it's about.
Yeah.
That really bothered
I
me.
know. It's like a kid not doing the homework and then
Yeah.
just like
Like, what? I love you, Marty, but like, what?
like they Googled color of pomegranates and that was the first thing that popped up was like an article
I
about
got
Scorsese.
heated. I got
Yeah.
heated. But what are you gonna do? I'm glad it's on the director list, but still. It's kind of a blow, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
On the up and up, these movies are. I don't know why I said
On
that.
the
like
up and up?
Yoda, but Imitation of Life.
Oh my God.
Guys,
All right, Becca.
It went
What
from
is-
93 to 75.
Do you have thoughts?
I think it is half of a decent movie.
Agreed.
I agree as well.
All of the white people plot, sorry to narrow it down to that, but I was completely uninterested, uninvolved in anything that was going on with them.
Totally.
The relationship between the mother and daughter, she's trying to pass, and that broke my heart. I remember I was watching it alone, thankfully. I was bawling at the end.
Yeah.
Where she's like, I'm sorry, Mom.
Yeah. She's literally on her casket.
Oh my God, broke my heart. Spoilers. Yeah, she dies. I was weeping. I was really moved by that part, but that's half of the movie.
Exactly.
The whole other half, I was like,
it's like
are
really
they
bad.
done? Yeah, I was like completely uninterested. We just recently watched the Claudette Colbert
The original. Mhm.
one.
I think it's better.
It is. It is better. They actually have a proper race actress playing the daughter.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the daughter
One.
in Imitation of Life is not. Is
I
she
don't
half,
believe
or I don't even
so.
think she
I don't
is.
think so.
I don't think she is. I think she's just looks ambiguous, and
Yeah.
so they're like, "We're gonna say you're black, okay?"
Yeah.
But no, the daughter in the other one, she was denied her rightful career because she wouldn't pass.
Right. Right.
So she actually, gave more weight to the characters.
And isn't
Yeah.
it
The real deal.
ironic that the older movie was more
Forward
I don't know.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shocked at that, you guys. Like when Greg and I did that episode, we said in that episode,
Well,
we're like,
that's
"There's
Cirque,
no way
right?
this is gonna be on the list next time." It's Cirque, yeah.
It's
Douglas
the only.
Sirk.
It's the only
That
Cirque,
is not
I
my
believe.
favorite Cirque.
No.
That's my
What's your
least
favorite?
Cirque.
All That Heaven Allows.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That is my post.
That's the perfect fall.
Christmas.
That's the perfect fall.
It's not
one.
quite. It's a non-Christmas Christmas. It's my like Christmas is over, but like
But it's fall.
I don't want to watch
leaves.
Christmas. But it's got that snow at the end. It's
Yeah.
a snowy
Yeah.
cabin. So it's kind of it's a transition-y movie.
It's a good one.
It's my in-between holidays.
I love that.
movie.
What
That's
about
great.
Sorry, I'm a
Written in the
crazy
Wind?
person. You should see. Yeah, I have like I have my Mardi Gras movies. I have my 4th of July movies.
Oh
I
my
have
God.
like
It sounds so
late.
fun.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I love how seriously you take your seasonal movies.
I-
Because I do something
very
similar, but
seriously.
not to that level. But I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No,
so
I can't believe-
that
yeah.
shook me.
I think-
Casablanca
Oh,
is
Casablanca's
way up, you guys.
Yeah.
That really, really surprised me. It was 84. It's now 63.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Some
Ali-
classics never die.
I was gonna say that's like classic.
classic.
Name an old Hollywood movie. It's Casablanca.
Exactly.
I agree, and I think it should be on the list. But like during our Casablanca episode, we both predicted that it was going to be
A little lower.
low. I think
Oh.
I felt that way,
I thought it was going to be about the same.
but it's 20 steps higher.
No, I know.
Ali Fear Eats the Soul.
So
it went
good.
from 93 to 52. It's so good.
It's so
I
good.
am fully obsessed with that movie.
Yeah, it's so good.
I really, really love it.
Yeah, I'm glad it went up.
happy. Obviously, Beau Travail went from 78 to number
That's
7.
Crazy. That's the biggest jump on
That's
this
the
list,
biggest
or
jump.
It's
What
gotta
about-
be.
It's gotta be.
Yeah,
one of
because
them.
John Dielman was at what number before? Do you know?
Oh, I didn't even write it down. The one thing I
We
didn't
don't
write
care.
down.
It
Yeah.
was somewhere not number one. And
Yeah.
we're just
Yeah.
gonna give it points for having the balls, I guess.
Yeah.
Close
or not
up.
the balls, the ovaries. It's a woman's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Close up went from number 43 to number 17.
Is that still the only Kiarostami they have on there?
so.
That's
so.
pretty crazy. You'd think that like Taste of Cherry would be on there or something, but I guess not.
Yeah. And then we do have like 11. Oh my God, the piano. We didn't even talk about
The
the
piano.
The piano, you guys. Okay, when do you watch The Piano, Becca? What season is that? That's a hard one
Not
because
all
it's
of
cold,
movies
but it's
of
by
all
the
time fit into a season.
It's cold, but it's by the beach. So when do you watch it?
I mean, whenever I feel like.
I know,
man.
same.
No, it's so good. I want my sister. So my sister's an artist. Can I spoil the end of this movie?
Of course.
So, my sister's an artist. She is really good at drawing like eerie, spooky things. She's not seen The Piano. I want her to watch it because I want her to draw You know how she says the thing about like, I imagine I'm under the water with my piano? I
Yeah.
want her to draw an underwater scene of a piano at the bottom of the sea with someone tied to
beautiful.
it. I'm like, I can picture it in my brain. I'm like, watch this movie so that
That's beautiful.
I love that movie.
I imagine that would look
deeply love
like.
that movie.
I know you've seen Night of the Hunter, right?
The underwater in the car.
Yes, it's like that, but at a
Very
piano.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Jackie. I love Night of the Hunter. I was shouting at my.
like Night of the Hunter.
No,
okay.
It might be one. I feel like I've seen it so many times. I'm trying to remember my initial, very first viewing impression of it. It's definitely grown over viewings.
See,
probably.
it probably will for me, and now I'll get to watch it again for the list.
Jackie,
so.
don't backpedal.
No, I'm not backpedaling.
I
It's
feel
just
like there's
guys.
some movies where when you don't know what you're watching, you might have expectations. Like the very first time I saw, this is a weird thing to compare it to, but the first time I saw An American Werewolf in London, I was like, what is the tone of this movie? I was so confused. But then with every viewing since, I'm like, this is the best movie ever. So,
you know,
might
sorry
be a
to cut
case
you
of
off,
that.
but I had a similar feeling. I just watched Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf for the not Who's Afraid. Oh my god, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane
Oh yeah.
for the first time. But I
was
didn't know.
raised on that movie.
Exactly.
I don't know why.
So that's really scary. So what
That
happened
and
to
the
Baby
bad
Jane?
seed.
The bad seed.
Yeah.
Oh my
it was,
god.
It was the same situation. I thought I was going into like an All About Eve type, like fun drama about like showbiz. And then I started watching it and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I was very confused. It is something I think that's going to grow on me over time. I liked it. Don't get me wrong.
It's so fun.
But it was
messed
so
up.
unexpected yet so messed up.
Yeah.
I just love reading the behind the scenes stories about that movie.
Yeah, I have to. I haven't even
God.
dug deep into it
Yeah,
yet.
like she actually, I think Betty Davis actually kicked Joan Crawford like
Holy-
hard
I
enough
don't-
to injure her, and then Joan Crawford like weighted her body when she was supposed to drag her, and like Betty Davis threw her back out. Like they hated each other.
I
So it's
love
just like
that. I
all the
love that
drama behind the
stuff.
scenes. I was
I
like,
love that.
So
I
much
want to be a
venom.
fly on the wall on that set.
Yeah.
Totally. I have like so I'm just looking at all the films by women. So there are 11 films by women now.
Yay.
As opposed to the one or two before.
As
Two.
opposed to two.
Jean Dielman and Beau Travail.
and Beau Travail,
Yeah.
yeah. Piano, Daughters of Dust.
Oh yeah, Daughters of Dust.
Wanda.
They have Maya Deren is on the list now.
Yes, Meshes of the Afternoon.
Yeah, that's a punk rock choice.
Yeah. Daisies, you guys. That's an interesting choice.
That is also a punk rock.
That's
choice.
It
a
is.
very punk rock choice.
You know
All the
what?
women are getting crazy on this list.
Yes, and I
They're
love
like,
it.
You can keep your Casablancas. We're gonna have food fights and
But Daisies, you guys,
Disembodied
like, I
taste.
really like it. I don't know if I think it needs to be on the. It's high on the list for me. 28 is really high
that's pretty high.
for Daisies.
This-
I like it, but it's just like I don't know.
It would have been cool to see some Kenneth Anger get on there.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
besides John Dielman, there's News from Home by Chantal.
You know
Ackerman,
what?
Which
Okay.
I love.
Oh, okay.
You don't like it?
It's okay. It's okay. I like it. No, I like it, but
Craig!
is it a top 100 of all time? Absolutely not.
I feel like Chantal Ackerman is just having like kind of a revival right now.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Um,
Well, I mean, yeah.
Do you have you seen News from Home?
I haven't.
It's really
one
really
of the-
sweet. I really really liked it.
Yeah, we did it for the film club, and the consensus was most people were kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's good, but like it's kind of that's a homework movie. I feel like that's a
Not at all. No, it is gorgeous and sweet. I love
I
it.
don't know. I don't know about that one.
Okay. Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. Wanda's great.
Oh,
that it's
Wanda,
on.
that's
Wanda's
right.
really good.
Yeah, that's a great addition.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of a newer discovery too.
It is.
Uh,
Because
Yeah,
of the restoration.
That was like I was saying earlier, that was one of the harder ones for me to track down when I was doing the top 250. But yeah, really delighted to see it once I finally actually got a
Yeah.
chance to. But
yeah.
man, some of the ones on that list, I'm like, where even can I watch this?
Yeah.
It was-
You know, you said that in the beginning when you were talking about your experience. I haven't experienced that at all so far. Have you,
Well-
Greg? Have you found anything hard to find? The only thing
Well-
that was hard to find for us was greed. Like getting the right greed because there's like different versions and I don't know.
I just own so many movies. I own most of the films on the list
you
anyway.
do?
So it's
Oh,
like I'm
that's
just pulling it off the
really-
shelf.
so hard to find it. Did I alphabetize
Yeah.
these by English titles or foreign titles? I don't know.
I haven't found that actually.
I think it was I mean, I feel like probably most of the 100 was easy to find. It was more the more
was the
obscure
250s.
ones. Well, like Histoire du Cinema, I don't know where that is.
Right.
Yeah.
Same.
Stuff like
It's
that.
not on Criterion. I feel like it should be on Criterion Channel.
Oh yeah, and before they did the Barbara Loden movie, that was like, I don't
It
know
wasn't.
how you'd see that.
I couldn't find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a few that aren't. They were kind of low on the 250. I'm like,
Have you guys seen Black Girl?
Yes, it's really good.
I've been wanting to watch it for so long.
No offense to the movie. It was put on. My husband put it on, and I was just like one of those days where I just like passed out 5 minutes in, and so I've seen a few minutes of it. I want to see it.
Yeah.
That happens to me a lot. I'm tired, you guys.
Yeah.
Real life happens.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I work with children. I'm exhausted all the time. Like my students are like, I'm tired. I'm like, I'm more tired than you. I don't want to hear it. If you ever ask me at any point of my day if I'm tired, the answer is yes.
And it's so funny because like as a kid, I remember my teachers being exhausted.
We are. We're all exhausted all the time. My co-teachers are like, I don't know how you like go home and like there's another kid there. I'm like, it's just the one. That's easier than a whole classroom full.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I do okay. I considering my life that I'm just trying to like knock out movies as I can get to them. I do okay trying to keep up.
Yeah, I would say so too.
I would say so as well.
Yeah.
So there are 7 films by Black filmmakers. Tuki Buki remains.
Oh
Yeah.
God. That one
Tuki Buki's hard
traumatized
to
me.
The cows?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I was like, like there's no warning. It's not like
there's no warning.
in 3
It's a
seconds there will
lot,
be a
too.
massive bloodshed. Here we go.
It's in like the first 2 minutes
Yeah.
too.
Oh my God.
It's like some of the
and
most
like
graphic.
throughout, I was like,
Yeah.
oh
It's
my
throughout.
God.
It's the whole movie.
I dug what wasn't the animal slaughter, but it was
Yeah.
so
Me
just
too.
like-
I really
It hovers over the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Daughters of the Dust.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's actually the only film by a Black woman on the list.
Right.
Do the Right Thing, which I'm really
Okay.
happy about.
I can't believe that was not on the 2012 list.
Yeah. I'm a
Holy
little shocked
shit.
too. I'm a little shocked too.
Wait, what number is Do the Right Thing? Do you know?
God, I didn't write it down. You're asking me.
Oh,
Hold
she has a
on,
list.
Hold on.
Becca has the full list.
24.
20.
That's a good
okay, good.
number.
It's a
Yeah.
great number.
Okay.
That's a summer movie at our house.
That is
That's
such a summer
such
movie.
a summer movie. Yeah.
That movie is. Oh God, I know it doesn't need to be said again, but Jesus Christ, that movie is amazing.
So good.
So good.
Killer of Sheep, which I haven't.
I think
seen.
you know what I'm gonna make a
Have you
bold.
seen that?
This is you know what I have not seen the Charles Burnett movie.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. It's been on my list. But I haven't seen it. I was gonna say not that this needs to be said. This is like so redundant at this point, but I think that Do the Right Thing is one of the 5 greatest films from the 21st century. 20th century.
That's amazing.
Truly, I think that movie, like it's just every time I see it, it's even better than I remember it. In my head, it's this amazing movie. Then you go to watch it again, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God. And so that was like his 3rd movie
Yeah.
or something. Oh my God.
He just showing off.
He's just showing off.
Moonlight, we talked about. Get Out, Black Girl. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got some good picks. So
Did you read Paul Schrader's tweet? Did either of you read Paul
No.
Schrader's tweet?
My husband read it to me like right before you guys walked in.
what was
So I have it right here. So just because
Or
sometimes
just that he was griping.
he has some gripes. So we have mentioned Paul Schrader a number of times on this podcast, especially when it comes to transcendentalism in film. So he's someone whose opinion we respect. He's kind of like a Scorsese in that sense of like, he's just part of the film community. Like he's a
Yeah.
filmmaker, but he's also like an active voice. And
We
like,
started as a critic.
yeah, he started as a critic. Exactly. But so maybe he's just an out of touch old man, but here's what he had to say about the new list. For 27 years, the Sight and Sound poll has been a reliable, if somewhat incremental measure of critical consensus and priorities. Films moved up the list, others moved down, but it took time. The sudden appearance of Jean Dielman in the number 1 slot undermines the Sight and Sound poll's credibility. It feels off, as if someone had put their thumb on the scale, which I suspect they did. As Tom Stoppard pointed out in Jumpers, in democracy, it doesn't matter who gets the votes, it matters who counts the votes. By expanding the voting community and the point system, this year's Sight and Sound poll reflects not a historical continuum, but a politically correct rejiggering. Ackerman's film is a favorite of mine, a great film, a landmark film, but its unexpected number 1 rating does it no favors. Jean Dielman will from this time forward be remembered not only an important film in cinema history, but also as a landmark of distorted woke reappraisal.
Yikes. I was just going to say, Jeanne Dielman seems like such a good transcendental movie, like such a good example of transcendentalism.
Yeah, no, he loves it. Yeah,
like,
he loves it.
So it's so interesting coming from him, but I do think he touched upon something like, and we've talked about this, that we don't think calling any film the greatest film of all time
does it any favors. In fact, I think it might do it more harm in a way. I mean, because first of all, there's no greatest film ever. There's none. There's really none. There's not even a top 10.
Yeah, there's no way I could, if I was ever in a position to be asked about this, that I would be able to pick one. Like, there's no, like you said, there's no greatest film. But also, is this affecting his life in any kind of way? Like, calm down.
I know.
Exactly.
It's a little dramatic.
Exactly.
Wait, Becca, I'm curious. What is your favorite film? Like, do you have a single favorite movie?
She just said
What?
Are we thinking Rosemary's Baby?
No, because she said I can't. There's no way I could ever choose.
Well,
so that's why.
Could choose the greatest.
Right. Favorite.
What's my favorite movie? Auntie-Mame from 1958.
Oh
my God,
I
Starring
love that movie.
It's so funny. It's like, just pick me up every time.
It's a lovely, lovely movie.
It's funny. I was just talking to someone recently that was also like one of their favorite movies, and I'm trying to remember who it was. I don't remember.
It's great.
It's so fun. Okay, when do you watch that? Because that has a lot of holidays in it.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those ones that I don't know that I want to watch it every year. I watched it New Year's Eve a few years ago because Lola hadn't seen it. My daughter hadn't seen it yet. But yeah, there's definitely a Christmas scene.
Aren't there a bunch of holidays? I haven't seen it in a while, but
I mean, the only specific holiday I think is Christmas.
Is it?
But it goes through seasons, you know. It's like then she's got her like southern.
It's like me
gentleman.
and St. Louis kind of season.
Yeah, kind
shifting.
of.
Halloween and Christmas for that one.
Yeah,
That's like such a Christmas movie, I think.
And it's also Halloween kind of.
Yeah, but it ends with Christmas.
So let's just talk about the director list.
Wait. What do you think about? Let's talk about this Paul Schrader thing for a second.
Okay.
Just because.
Yes.
I think that's good. His voice is indicative of the bigger voice of the older generation of critics and filmmakers. I think a lot of especially white men, will concur with that statement. I think
that this was inevitable, like something like this. I mean, I can't really agree with him. I get what he means. Like I said, I like his point kind of about like now Jeanne Dielman will be known as like the movie that just like kind of like some people will think of it that way. Like they'll think like, oh, this really artsy movie came out of nowhere so that they could have a woman on the top of the list, which I don't agree with, but
do you think it'll be
harmful to the movie?
Well, no. Do you think it'll be this high on the next list?
Maybe not. I don't think so.
Bone throw.
I think it was
and
kind
then
of a
where
bone
it's like,
throw.
all right, you got your moment. You got your 10 years.
I think it was
now
kind
it's
of a
gonna
bone throw.
down.
And now I know that it's going to be this movie. I hope more people see it, but I know that a lot of people are going to watch it and be like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, but good, honestly.
Yeah, but then we talked about how cinema is for everyone. And like, there's just so... It's just
every
They're gonna be like, look how out of touch these people are. They made us watch a woman peeling potatoes for 3 hours. Like, wow.
It's just going to start a lot of conversations.
You know what I think is so cool about that movie is it really expands like what cinema can be, for better or worse. People will fall on both sides, but like I love how much it stretches. So yeah, a lot of people are going to watch it and hate it because it's number one now. It's been brought to people's attention.
Exactly. And everyone's going to be like, what? This is number one? Like, I think that's kind of harmful to it a little bit, but...
Yeah, but it also
I still think it's really badass.
It gets its moment to shine, really.
I think it's epic that it is number one.
And I bet a lot of people see like the full title typed out and they're like, what? Like I've never heard of this.
If you paid me $1 million right now, I couldn't tell you what the full name
Same.
of that movie is.
Me neither.
And I've seen it, or at least I've known of it, and I've seen it written down. I don't know how many times, but yeah.
Me neither.
Like Jeanne Dielman, some address.
This is Jeanne Dielman.
Something 1080.
Something
Commerce,
23 something of
Bruxelles,
something
1000 something.
1080, yeah.
I just lost $1 million.
No, I was trying to pull up Paul Schrader's tweet right now, but I don't think he has a Twitter. I don't know where you saw that. Facebook.
He just made it up.
Hold
He's
on.
like,
He has a Facebook, Greg.
Oh, sorry. It was from Facebook.
Yeah, I'll have to do some meditating on that. I don't...
What do you guys think of Parasite on the list?
I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy too. I think it's one of the rare movies that kind of transcended.
It brought everyone together.
Yeah.
Like it's I think it's like a movie of the generation.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I think too, Parasite is one of the rare films that almost anyone can enjoy from a surface level. Like people who aren't even that would never touch John Dielman can go into Parasite and be like, oh, this is working for me on the surface. But then there's all this beneath. And it's like a great film under the hood too. So the fact that it's like both, it's like this shiny, great, super nice car, and it's like super great under the hood. It's like kind of the total package.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see it on there.
There are some additions to the director list that I'm like really happy about. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is on the director list.
Is it really?
Yeah. Which I thought was
That's
really
fun.
cool. Vagabond, my personal print, as I said, is on there.
Gosh, that one's sad.
Woman Under the Influence. So again, we got no Cassavetes
No
on this
Cassavetes
list,
on the top 100.
which really
That's
pisses
another
me
thing.
off.
Like no Altman and no Cassavetes.
Yeah.
It invalidates the whole list. No, not really. But you're like, what are they thinking? Like, how could these people not put at least Woman Under the Influence on the top 100? Like that's
it's number 19 on the
blows
director
my
list.
mind.
That's high.
Blows my mind.
That is high.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
It's like that thing, like all the musicians, like they're like, oh, Velvet Underground wasn't this huge band, but if you listen to Velvet Underground, you started a band. Same thing, like the people that love Woman Under the Influence are filmmakers, I think, for the most part.
Yeah. That's interesting.
It's like the filmmaker's film. Any Cassavetes, really.
I agree.
But yeah, it's scandalous that he's not on there.
Yeah.
There's no Jenna Rowlands on the top 100. Are you kidding me?
Jenna.
Oh, that blows my mind.
You guys know 2001 is the number one on the director list.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean,
yeah.
I'm telling you, my kid loved it.
I love that.
Well, my husband was like, oh, I think she's ready. I'm like, I don't know. He's like, all right, well, we'll watch it. Like, you don't care if you're home or not. I'm like, no, watch it whenever. So they watched it without me.
Yeah.
And he's like, she loved it. I'm like, damn it. Like, I missed her first viewing of 2001 because I thought she would be like bored. I don't know why I questioned it. She's very receptive to pretty much everything we've shown her.
She seems super precocious.
She's a character for sure. But yeah, no, she liked it. It was funny. We were I was playing some classical music for her that had, kind of eerie women's choral in it. And she's like, this sounds like in 2001 when they learned how to use tools. I was like, it does sound like that, you weirdo.
No.
Like, it's been so fun as a movie lover and parent, like getting to show, like, what do we show her next? Like, we recently showed her the Truman Show and it like broke her brain. Like 2 days later, she's like, Mom, are people watching me right now? I'm like, what? And she's like, is this real life? I'm like, are you thinking about the Truman Show again? She's like, yes. I'm like, no one is watching you. That is a movie. So it's hard to explain. Like, they're pretending to be in a show, but this is just a movie of them in a show. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, And we just watched Some Like It Hot, which is.
Yeah, that's cute.
Is that one on here somewhere?
Yeah,
yes, it
is.
On.
Okay.
And it was on 2012 too.
Good. Classic.
You like Some Like It Hot?
I love Some Like It Hot.
Yeah. I like it.
Is
Greg
that
and I talk
there's
about this
3 Billy
sometimes.
Wilders on the list, right? Because it's
There's
that
the
apartment and
apartment.
Sunset Boulevard.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's a lot of Wilder,
That's a
and
lot
he's
of
great.
That is a lot of
I do
Wilder.
But
love
there's
Wilder.
one
Wilder's like-
Bergman, 3 Wilders.
Yeah, that's kinda
0
crazy.
Altman, 0 Cassavetes.
That's kind of crazy to me.
But at the same time though, it's like, look, if you're really sitting down to like write a list of the best films, I think a lot of people aren't necessarily thinking, oh, I got to get a Bergman on there. I got to get a Cassavetes. They're just like, what are the films that come to mind? And you know what I mean?
Right.
So even though it seems egregious to us that there's no, some of those filmmakers on here at all, and then someone like
But
Wilder has
Altman,
3.
Like Altman is.
Yeah. But the thing about Altman is, again, like Cassavetes, he's like the filmmaker's filmmaker in terms of like the biggest hit he maybe had, like MASH and like The Player. In terms of like most people off the street, if you sit them down, you're like, tell me about the movie Nashville. They're like, what? Or tell me about The Long Goodbye. What?
Yeah.
Brewster McCloud. He's a little more, he's like a cut underneath, but also is like Beau Travail and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Beau Travail.
What else is missing from this list, you guys?
You know what's missing, honestly, is comedy.
Yeah.
And like, there's like Some Like It Hot. Oh, I do like that the general is there now. Because before we had one Keaton, it was Sherlock Jr.
Yes.
And
no
I'm
general.
one of those people. I like Keaton more than Chaplin. And City Lights is on there and a couple others. The fact that the general was not on the 2012 list is insane. Like, I think that is the greatest silent comedy ever made. One of the best movies ever made. Not that that's a hot take, but I like that that's on there. But I think, honestly, would have loved to see, as long as we're going with this punk rock theme, I would have loved to see some Pink Flamingos on here or something like that. Put it on. Next list. 2032 Pink Flamingos top 10.
Anything is
Can
possible,
you imagine?
honestly.
That's what they need to do. They
Put
need
it number
to.
one, and we're like,
Oh
my
my
God,
God.
what did I just watch? Yeah, John Waters, man.
He should have a film on here.
Probably. But which one? See, I don't know. Serial Mom. No.
Serial Mom. I love Serial Mom.
love
Yeah.
Serial Mom. There are a few that I'm kind of tired of seeing on these lists over and over.
Like what?
Like I personally think Apocalypse Now is kind of overrated.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it's there on number 19 or whatever.
That's really high.
That one didn't move at all, I think.
No,
Maybe it moved
not
down
really.
a tiny bit.
And then I feel like I find Blade Runner less interesting the more I watch it too. That's another one that I'm like, like it's on these lists and people like it, but like I think it's because I first saw the voiceover version and Harrison, like we're buddies. My buddy Harrison, he just sounds so bored out of his mind. And I know he didn't want to do it, but like when I think of Blade Runner, I just think of it like
the monotone.
all right, and now we're gonna do this. And
What about
That one's.
sorry.
I'm happy that one's still on there, but I get where you're coming from, and I get why people would
it's
want
fine,
it off.
It's fine.
Wait, is Aguirre, The Wrath of God, still on there?
I didn't see
I don't
it.
think so. No, because I typed the whole list earlier. I love Aguirre.
Yeah,
That's an
I
Earth Day
love
movie.
Okay, the fact that because
Aguirre, I really like
we did Apocalypse Now and Aguirre pretty close to each
Because
other
of the ping
because of ping
pong.
pong, and we both obviously agreed that
We both said
Aguirre is
Aguirre's
the better
Yeah.
Apocalypse Now,
Mhm.
and Apocalypse Now remains in the
I'm
top
really
20,
sad.
and Aguirre's gone.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice.
I mean, there are certain scenes from Apocalypse Now that I really
Sure.
like, but just like
Overall,
It
I'm
just
just
feels
so
like one
sick
of-
of it.
yeah.
If I have to watch it one more time, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
this is an important movie.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I'm kind of at the point in my life where I'm like sort of over Apocalypse Now.
Kick it off.
Yeah.
Okay, the rules of the game remains high, you guys.
Yeah, that one surprises me. Yeah.
That surprises me.
I could see them keeping it on, but to still keep it kind of where it was kind of crazy. Maybe.
No, when we watched it, I said, I'm like, I don't know.
It's fine.
I'd
Yeah.
be
Enjoyable.
okay.
No,
It's not-
exactly.
It's not one that like I think about afterwards.
Ever.
Like that one standout shot. Like, I mean, I enjoy it in the moment. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't anyway linger.
Oh, I don't
me.
think Thing is on here.
The
other
better
one.
Renoir. The better Renoir. Day
What
in the
is it even
Country.
called? Day in the Country. I don't think it's on there.
No,
is it?
I think it's gone.
No.
Partie de
I'm
Campagne.
really happy about that, honestly.
No, that was better than Rules of the Game.
No. Becca, what do you think?
Because you guys did the podcast on that one,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
I really didn't like it that much.
I feel like I was reevaluating because it had been a while since I'd seen it, and I really liked it when I saw it. But then I was like, did I not watch it correctly? Is it actually really creepy? And I was
It
like,
is
I don't
creepy.
remember. It's been so long since I actually sat down and watched
It's
it.
creepy and it's unfinished. And you know
Oh
what?
my
Both-
God.
Okay, both of the movies that I said these should not be on the list because they're not full movies are now off. Look at me.
Jackie,
I'm a trailblazer.
I'm pretty sure Day in the Country was like barely unfinished. Like,
it's unfinished. You can tell at the
Oh
end.
my
It's like
God.
one scene where he's just staring at her, reverse shot, professing his love. Like it's really bland to me. It's truly bland.
it worked for me. I don't know. No Coen brothers on the list.
Yeah, that's sad to me.
There's a
the
lot
Coen
of-
brothers are so formative.
Well,
to
yeah.
me.
Here, let's talk about a couple staples from like the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Like,
The
okay,
Coen
let's
brothers
talk
weren't on
about
2012 either.
Fargo.
I think
or-
Fargo should be on this list.
You know what? Not Fargo, but honestly, probably No Country would be my pick. I think.
I would pick Fargo, I think. But I love No Country.
Also, no Pulp Fiction.
Was it on 2012?
No, I don't think so. No.
Wow.
But it's just, yeah, I mean, that kind of did shift, movies shifted a little because of that. And then now, like, There'll Be Blood. No, There'll
That's
Be Blood.
interesting.
Yeah. Some of the Because those are frequently like when most people put together best of decade polls, they like top the polls.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure those were on the 250.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But yeah. But my favorites by those people are never on the list anyway.
Yeah.
So womp womp.
I think Phantom Thread is like
Honestly, yeah.
it's yeah.
And he's really hit or miss for me
Yeah.
personally. But that one I was like, this is like
I
an exquisite
think it's my
movie.
favorite.
It's by far, it's hands down far and away my favorite. But yeah,
It's so good.
I would like to see it on here. It's just so pretty.
It's beautiful.
It's so pretty. And it's not just like an eye candy movie. It's like the story gets so twisty and
sour
interesting, and you're
yeah.
like, where is this going? Yeah, I really like that one.
I
Yeah.
really like it too.
Yeah. That's such a great movie. Now, you know what I would have liked to have seen on here? These are just sound like film bro movies. But I feel like Train Spotting would have would be welcome on this list.
Nah.
Now
Downvote.
I don't know.
I download as
I
well.
don't know. There's just like some real staple 90s movies that they've overlooked, I feel like. But
Yee Yee and A Brighter Summer Day remain.
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Brighter Summer Day still?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad for Yee.
I'm glad for Yee as well.
I think Brighter Summer Day is one that I didn't get to and just couldn't motivate
It's
myself
really
to watch.
long.
Yeah.
It's full
Well,
4
most of the ones I
hours.
didn't get to were like Showa or like
Yeah.
Berlin
Mhm.
Alexanderplatz. I'm like, my time on this world is precious. Like, I don't.
Guys, you said Berlin and I remembered I think Paris, Texas should be on this list.
Oh, yeah.
It's
It's-
not,
That's
is
insane.
it?
Nope.
And
No.
everyone always talks about how much they love Paris, Texas. I'm actually very shocked.
Yeah. Same. Is there any vendors on there?
No.
Wings of Desire?
Mm.
Well, guys,
Well,
I
This-
think we
yeah.
we
Did we ring
somersaulted
this thing out?
through this list.
Yeah. It's been thoroughly rung.
So
Rot.
wrong. I'm so excited to watch the additions.
Yeah. Some of them. No, I'm just kidding.
Watch Get Out again.
Oh my God. The fact that we have to do an episode on Get Out.
Hey. Yeah, I don't know what I was gonna say. I think I'm all out of words.
Yeah.
Just that it had been
Anything
so
else?
fun, like listening to your podcast and getting to revisit all these movies that I watched so long ago. It feels like I'm like, oh yeah, I watched that one. Oh yeah, I remember that part of
that's
that one.
the good thing about
It's
it.
like a trail that you once hiked and then you get to like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
And yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna go back and finish those 16 that I didn't get to.
to.
I don't want to watch some of them. I really don't. One of them, this movie Out One. I don't know if you've seen it or heard of it.
it's like 10 hours.
12.
Oh.
Oh, geez.
It broke me. I was like evaluating my life. Like, if I died tomorrow,
Wait, which one is this? This is on the top 100. The
I couldn't even
2012 top
tell
100.
you, it was like slamming my head into the wall.
Your
Like,
boy is in it.
Who's my boy?
The kid from 400 Blows.
Jean-Pierre Léaud.
Yeah.
Why is he my boy?
I don't know.
What?
We've just decided this. You don't have a
I
choice.
did.
I love him.
It's just
but
now
like,
been decided.
No, I don't. Nothing needs to be 12 hours long.
No,
Yeah.
I agree.
I was just like, yeah. I was like, I need to take a break. It gets to a point. You're smart in just doing the 100 because it goes getting to a point where I was like, I don't want to not enjoy watching movies.
Yeah, you don't want it to feel like
I had to
work. Yeah.
step away. Yeah. 'cause-
Yeah.
But if I hadn't, like, I'm just looking over this and remembering watching them all for the first time. Like, have you guys seen Sancho the Bailiff?
Yeah, that's a great movie.
I never would have like come to that. Or
Mizoguchi.
there was a
Right.
ton of Dreyer on the top 250
Yes.
too, and I liked all of them except for one.
Which one?
Gertrude.
Oh,
So
haven't seen
Gertrude
it.
actually left the list
Good
this
because
time.
it's not any good. It's boring. But the rest were great. Dave Rath is really good, and yeah, like the westerns. And I'd never seen any Tarkovsky. Did I say his name right?
Yeah.
Tarkovsky.
Yeah.
I'm always like Tartovsky. Nope.
So the
One of those.
the 3 Tarkovskys remain. It's Mirror, Stalker, and Andrei Rublev.
Cool.
Stalker is my movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So good.
I still like Mirror more. I love Mirror. Mirror's in the top 10 of the director list.
I'm
Stalker
on
just-
Team Stalker.
Stalker's so interesting.
Yeah.
Stalker
Like,
is really cool.
I remember getting mad at Annihilation because it wasn't Stalker.
Yes.
Like when I saw the trailer, I was like, Stalker. And then I watched it. I'm like, this isn't Stalker at all. Like, I really was, I don't know. I wanted it to be a completely different movie. I'm like, that's not fair to Annihilation that I literally wanted it to be a movie that already exists. But
well, it kind of tries to. It's kind of Stalker Jr.
it
really.
is Stalker Jr. It
without any of the good stuff.
well, Stalker's so cool because they don't explain it. You don't see it. Like what's going on. It's just like you see them being unnerved. You don't know what by.
Exactly.
It's just like what's going on. And then that end, you're like, what does this mean? And
when Matilda shows up at the end?
Or
just
with
like
the glass?
Yeah, Matilda.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
you guys aren't getting the reference.
And I did. It took me a second. I have seen Matilda.
She has telepathy.
Right.
There was not a newt in the glass.
No, there was not. You guys know who I wanted to see on this list. On this list.
Wes Anderson?
No.
Oh.
Kieslowski.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think Three Colors.
See, that's
one of the
again,
three colors should have been
an
on
essential
it.
90s, like blue, essential 90s film.
Yeah, Double Life of Veronique. Like, one of those.
Red and blue were on the
definitely.
250. Veronique was too. Veronique,
I would
Veronique.
put on the
on
top
there for
100.
sure.
Veronique. Like,
Someone's
that
seen
movie. Yeah, I love it.
I know.
Watch
you haven't seen it?
Watch it
Oh my
twice.
god. Yeah, that's what I would suggest, Greg. Like,
Watch it
seriously,
twice?
go home, watch it, and then next week watch it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's a
I just
double
watched it for
viewer.
the second time. Exactly. I just watched it
so
for the
good.
second time, and I completely was obsessed the first time. Second time came around, and I was just crying. Like, it wasn't even like a sad part. Just like,
It's really beautiful.
It is, yeah.
That was I hunted down the sheet music for some of the soundtrack from that one.
You play
that's
piano?
So cool.
Yes, I play the piano.
Ooh.
Since I was 6.
So
That's
cool.
lovely.
Yeah.
I wish I played an instrument like that.
Well,
you guys.
Yeah.
We have done triple somersaults now on this list.
Yeah.
Overall, if you had to say happy, not happy, go. Greg.
Me? Happy.
Becca.
Happy-ish.
Okay. That works.
I'm just looking at my notes that say potato peeling movie number 1. I'm just like, okay, whatever, it's fine. I'm not gonna get on Facebook and be like, this list is illegitimate. It's fine, but I'm happy to see some diversity on here. So happy overall. I
Okay.
suppose.
I'm also happy.
Nice.
Thanks for asking.
We were about to ask, okay? Cool. Well, thank you for joining us, Becca. This has been
Becca!
delightful.
Hey, thank
This
you
has
for
been
having me.
So lovely.
This
And we
was
will
fun.
continue to follow your journey.
Yeah. And we may or may not be talking to you for a film coming up in a bit.
Tease.
Until next week. Greg, what are we doing next week?
Next week, we are doing Singing in the Rain. Singing in the Rain. I just said singing. I know
How
it's singing.
Singing.
Believe
How
me.
dare you?
I know it's singing. So yeah, we're doing Singing in the Rain. I know we were supposed to do that originally this week, but we figured with the new list dropping, it would be wise for us to do this
We did the right
episode
thing.
now
I think we did the right
and
thing.
just kick Singing in the Rain to next week. So come back next week for Singing in the Rain. Until then, I'm Greg.
I'm Jackie.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Seen and Heard is an official podcast of the Arroyo Film Club, featuring Greg Kleinschmidt and Jacqueline Postagian. Theme music by Andrew Cox. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. If you have any questions, comments, or you just want to say hi, email us hello@seenandheardpod.com or visit our website, www.seenandheardpod.com.